Hello, all. I'm King John. You're you. And you should take good care of yourself because you're important. I like to talk with you folks about um, being red pilled and how a man might get there. Now, I would not call myself red pilled, but I'm a lot closer to it now than I've ever been before in my life. See, for a very long time, I I liked to think that I had a very clear perspective on things between feminism and red pilled and everything going on there. I didn't want to be part of any kind of battle between the sexes, and I could listen to people on both sides. I could hear shrill screeching and people making very good points. So I tried to elevate the people making good points and try to quieten down the shrill screeching. You know, I I I'm not saying that I was any kind of voice of reason. I think it's really cringe when people try to describe themselves that way. But uh, I I tried to govern my speech and actions with common sense and not get involved in either side of this ongoing affair. Then, some time ago, actually quite a while ago now, I'd been married for about 2 months when a woman, I'm going to try very hard to not make any possible identifiers for anyone involved in this because there were innocent people who were involved in this who do not want to be talked about on the internet. Which necessarily means this is not going to be very detailed, but roughly 2 months after I was married, a woman had a friend of hers, another woman, file a false police report accusing me well, of committing a terrible crime against a third woman. The third woman, to be clear, was completely ignorant of all this. She knew nothing about what was going on. The first woman sent me a very threatening message about the police that I did not take very seriously. Little did I know. So, police came, and even though the supposed victim of the alleged crime said that there was no crime, even though there was no physical evidence that no crime actually happened, police were still required by laws made by politicians to treat every single reported case of a crime of this sort seriously. Like, believe all women, right? So I was arrested. I was put in a jail cell overnight. And it was genuinely horrible experience. It was humiliating. It was frightening. And I sat in a jail cell listening to my wife crying and begging the police to let me come home with her for 5 hours straight. That's the sort of experience that can have a really big effect on a man. So eventually, the investigating officer, apparently there was only one guy on duty that night, got to me, and he explained that because of the nature of the case, they were required to put a 15-day restraining order on me, which would keep me, I can't talk about the exact details of it, but it would keep me out of my home and away from my wife for the entire period. Now, I would just want to take a quick moment to add that have nothing against the police involved. I think they were generally quite professional and respectful throughout all of this, with one exception that I will get to in a moment. So, after talking with everybody involved, including the alleged victim of the alleged crime, the investigating officer called the prosecutor's office. I don't know who in the prosecutor's office was awake between 2 and 3 in the morning, but someone apparently was, and got the restraining order down to 5 days. Now, if you'd told me earlier in that evening that I was going to be kept away from my wife for 5 days, I would not have been happy to hear that. But that was good news in that particular moment. So I was separated from my new wife. We'd only been married for a few months at that point. We were supposed to be having, our honeymoon phase. Anyway, got through it all. Was reunited with my wife. Then we went to the police to find out what options we actually had. Could we make any kind of complaint about the person who filed the false police report? Could we see the file? We spoke to a female officer, and I know that she lied to us at least once. I have good reason to believe she lied to us a lot more. She would not let us see the file. She would not let us know who did it. She would. We asked if we could file a legal complaint, criminal complaint. I forget the exact phrase. She said yes, we could. We had that right, but if we did, it would come to her, and the second the file crossed her desk, she would close it. Said that right to my face. So that was a genuinely life-altering experience. And to a certain extent, it's still going on, because that had a lot of knock-on effects with friends and family and my career. I mean, there's a job I really, really wanted that I lost out on because of this, because now it is on my permanent record that that I was the primary suspect in an investigation into a case of a really horrible crime being committed against a woman. So I said earlier that I could hear feminists and red pill people, and I could hear some of them screeching and being shrill, and I could hear some of them making good points on both sides, and intellectually, at least, that's still true. But I find myself listening a lot more to the crazy feminists, and a lot less to the ones who are making good points. And when I hear even the most far-out red pill man saying the weirdest, most awful things about all women being awful, intellectually I know this is far-out nonsense, but emotionally I'm like, I get it. I know where you're coming from, dude. So I feel like I've been robbed of my impartiality, of my nonpartisan status, because I've been harmed. I've been victimized. I'm the victim of a crime, and I was denied all justice. So, like I said, I still don't call myself red-pilled, but this is how men get to be red-pilled. So when you're talking about red-pilled men, you're mostly talking about men who are hurt, men who are scared, men who have been denied help when they needed it, who've been denied rights that they are supposed to be guaranteed. And that's how a good man becomes red-pilled. There are others. There are men who just really do not like women and will seize on any excuse to justify it. I'm not denying that those people exist. But they are a very, very small minority. So, there are people who are hurting on both sides of this ongoing culture war. So please try really hard to appreciate that, try to be kind, try to listen to both men and women, to both red-pilled folks and feminists and everyone in between, because everyone deserves kindness and justice in this world. Not sure where I was going with this, but I hope that going forward the whole world becomes better for everyone, and I hope you have a very nice day. Before I go, please comment below with anything you have to say. I'd really like to know what you think. And that's all. Have a good day.